Pay attention to how your thoughts make you feel. Have you ever noticed how our thoughts can affect our mood? In turn, our dominant mood will have a huge effect on the kind of results we get in life. If you allow yourself to be in a bad mood most of the time, this will tend to get reflected in your results, in a negative way. If you train yourself to remain in a good mood most of the time, this will also tend to get reflected in your results, in a good way. You may not realize it, but we can easily teach ourselves how to pay attention to our thoughts and feelings and use this skill to increase our well-being. Given time and a little bit of consistency with this approach, we may well astound ourselves with positive results well beyond what we may believe to be possible right now. In this video, we are going to talk about why paying attention to our thoughts and feelings is so important, and how we can get a better grip on both, in real life. Let's begin by looking at what happens when we don't pay attention to our thoughts. Our thoughts have an enormous impact on our emotions, but if we don't take the time to notice what we're thinking, we can easily get stuck in negative patterns and develop destructive mindsets. For example, if we're constantly telling ourselves that we're not good enough, we can start to feel discouraged and unmotivated, regardless of our true potential. By contrast, when we are mindful of our thoughts, we can recognize when they're not serving us, and change them. It's possible to become more mindful of our thoughts. For example, when you have negative feelings about your current situation, you could start to immediately examine it and ask yourself why you are feeling that way. Often you will discover that it's your thoughts that made you feel this way. This simple approach can help us to identify the root cause of our negative thoughts, and take steps to challenge them. For example, if you catch yourself thinking "I can't do it, I'm not good enough," try changing it to something like this: "It may not seem easy at this point in time, but others have done it and so can I. I am worth it. I deserve it. I know my why and I'm convinced that the how will unfold itself bit by bit as I go along." Being consistently more conscious of our thoughts can help us to cultivate a more positive mindset. When we catch ourselves thinking negatively, we can take the time to pause and reflect on our thought process. We can then replace negative self-talk with positive thoughts. It's also important to remember that our thoughts are often just stories we tell ourselves. They can seem real, but they're not always true. Paying attention to how our thoughts make us feel can help us move past these stories, and recognize our true worth. Here is an interesting fact. It's been well documented that even if we repeat a lie often enough, we will eventually start believing it to be true. We can use it to our advantage. Fake it till you make it is not just an empty slogan. So, if you want to change your thought from negative to positive, but you do not believe this scenario to be realistic for you, you could start playing this as a game to see how far you can take it. If you keep repeating to yourself thoughts like "I'm worth it, I deserve it, I don't know how but I know my why and the how will come to me," then at the very least you may notice that you start feeling better about yourself. Then you will start believing this to be true. Then, if you keep at it, things will start moving in the right direction for you. One day you may find that you are inspired to take a particular action. Or, you may come across an opportunity seemingly out of the blue. Remember this: like attracts like. This is the law of attraction in action. It's important to pay attention to our thoughts and consider how they make us feel. Through mindful self-reflection and creating a happy, positive mindset, we can learn to recognize patterns in our thinking, challenge our negative thoughts, and be more proactive in achieving our true potential. In that sense, we can become deliberate creators and the designers of our own destiny.